I'm going to tell you about some broad categories of non-believers, but while I'm doing that, put in the comments the label that you use to describe your non-religion. These are simplified definitions of these big groups of really diverse people, so we're not going to get all the nuance. Let's start with the smallest group, the atheists. In general, we think about atheists as being people who do not believe in God, gods, higher power, any of these supernatural forces. I think a helpful distinction that other scholars have made is this difference between institutional religiousness and personal spirituality. So with atheists, we see often both, right? A rejection of both institutional religion, of personal religiousness, but also of anything supernatural in the universe. Is that a hard and fast rule? No. Do some atheists have spirituality? Sure. I think it's probably more likely that that spirituality is rooted in something like nature, though, than angels. Another small group, but larger than the atheists, agnostics. Agnostic folks, in general, neither believe nor disbelieve in that sense of a higher power. They will describe that in all different ways: openness to possibility, rejection of the idea of deities, but an openness to having their minds changed, or just generally not knowing. Again, that might come with or without a sense of personal spirituality, but maybe a little bit more likely to be spiritual than, say, the atheists. Then we have spiritual but not religious people, and you could see how atheists and agnostics could fall into that category too. These folks tend to lead with spirituality. Again, that could be anything kind of supernatural: magic, nature, angels, ancestors, anything. I would argue the largest group of people within the spiritual but not religious are folks that probably still believe in a higher power. Maybe they've left some more organized faith system and maintain a personal sense of spirituality that might even be more akin to something like Christianity than it is to some of those looser spiritualities. This group are the religiously unaffiliated, and that could mean kind of anything, right? That they reject institutional religiousness but maintain a personal religiousness, and that actually is the largest group within the religiously unaffiliated. But for the non-believers in that group, I think there can be culturally religious people. So in other words, some folks say, I'm culturally Catholic or I'm culturally Mormon. I maintain some of the traditions and rituals and practices of the faith in which I was raised, but I don't really participate anymore, at least not in an organized way. So again, these are big groups. They're the kinds of terms that we use when we survey people, but there's lots of people in between, right? Free thinkers, skeptics, agnostic, atheists, humanists. Again, tell me what terms you use. But these are the broad categories that we think about when we think about non-belief, at least in the United States.